Stop and listen. Really listen.
Run wild, run free, running brighter than
Which one of these songs do you think is AI generated and which has been written by a human? I never thought I'd be asking this question, but as a songwriter myself, I have started to wonder whether artificial intelligence is just another useful tool for creation or if it's a threat to songwriters. I'm not alone in thinking this because 66% of artists believe that AI is a threat to their careers. AI reminds me of the fairy godmother from Cinderella because she didn't exactly create masterpieces on the first attempt. The same can be said for AI. Exhibit A. Exhibit B. We won't talk about Exhibit C. You can give AI a prompt and it'll write a full track within a second. And bam, a few bibbidi-bobbidi-boos later, you've got a full track. But here's the catch. The process is the fun part, and that's taken away. If we rely too much on AI for songwriting, we're not only going to become super lazy, but the songwriting craft and skill itself is at risk of being lost forever. This loss of skills leads to something even more worrying. A loss of what makes music so meaningful in the first place. This is where Walter Benjamin's idea of aura becomes important. Aura is the feeling that we get when we perceive a piece of art that moves us. Benjamin believed this was achieved through different stages. Imagine you're at a concert. First, you feel contemplation. The lights go off, anticipation builds. Second of all, you feel admiration. Your favourite artist has just come on the stage. Third is reflection. You start to listen to the lyrics, you start to relate to them. Fourth is analysis. This is where you really start to nitpick at the different sounds you're hearing and the lyrics you're hearing. Now picture these stages as an aura meter. The meter will rise for each stage when human art is perceived, like Benjamin said. But he also warns that as art becomes more accessible, reproductive and mechanical, it loses its magic and its aura diminishes. So if we were looking at this through an AI lens, the meter would barely move in Benjamin's point of view. AI is reproducing things at such a quick speed. Its creations are born with zero lived experience. And this takes away the authenticity and replaces it with a meaningless, empty void. Benton Court argues the opposite to Benjamin. He says that the more something is reproduced, the more aura it will have, because even though it's a repetitive piece of art, it still creates an experience. And AI is not all bad. It's good for songwriters to overcome writer's block and it can generate ideas. You start to see the real risks when you look at real world examples. And an example of this is BandNet. These guys basically trained AI to learn 125 Beatles songs and to turn them into the style of pop. When a real composer actually listened to the songs and had to give it a rating out of 5, he gave them a 3.6 out of 5. Now that's still quite low. Cloning is easy for AI to do, but also at the moment, AI can't mimic raw human expression that is so crucial to compositions. Let's look at some real artists in the industry then. Like, what do they have to say about AI? Well, we've got Paul McCartney, and he called AI the Wild West. So this is a place where artists' music's not protected enough. AI is stealing creativity to the point where uniqueness is lost, which is exactly what Benjamin said would happen the more content is digitalized and mechanically reproduced. Eurythmics legend Dave Stewart also made a comment about AI by calling it an unstoppable force. Really, we should be embracing it because it's unavoidable, it's progressing all the time, and we should think about selling our rights now. You know, for artists like Dave Stewart, like Paul McCartney, they're already established. What about artists like myself who are not? They don't have the same visibility or power or legal resources. Where does that leave us as emerging artists? It leaves us more vulnerable. I didn't even know what I would do if AI copied my voice. You know, you put so much effort, time and passion into the music you create for something to come and take it away as instantly as that. Now I have to worry about AI stealing my identity, when before I was just worrying about copyright, a human stealing my song. Now we have to worry that a bot, a computer, is going to do the same thing. Only, who can we sue for this? As we feed it with more human data, human thoughts, human feelings, if it can train itself to learn 125 Beatles songs, what's stopping it from learning how to write like a human? I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up writing a #1 hit song and then knocks off an artist who's worked so hard to get there. AI can be used as a tool, but it should never replace creativity. And that's why this conversation matters so much now, because while AI can be convincing, it cannot replicate lived experience or aura in the same way a human can, because it has no soul. And we can't let creativity die.
Run wild.